Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyid al-Mursaleen amma ba'd fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 2 of the series Miracles from the Quran, brought to you by InfoAir Media. Now, today on episode 2, we're going to talk about an episode from the Quran, from the first chapter. So alhamdulillah, we're going to go chapter by chapter, all the way up to the 30th. So it'll be a nice series for you to follow, for you to listen to, and for your children, inshallah. So again, from the first chapter, from Surah Baqarah, there is an incident and an event and a story at the time of Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam. Now, these people used to live by the seaside, and the story really is about the day of Sabbath. But alhamdulillah, we've got our resident Imam Sahib here to actually go into detail about this story, and inshallah we'll learn from the lessons of this particular story.
نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It's very contrary and interesting story, and to learn some of lessons that on the time of Hazrat Dawood Islam, those people, 12,000 people used to live in near the seaside village called Ila near Uqaba. And then those people, they were living very luxurious life.
Yes.
Allah Ta'ala tested them. So it's about test.
Yes.
And the people of previous nations, they have put in in tests.
Absolutely.
And we should make dua, Ya Allah, please don't put us in such tests we can't pass.
Inshallah. Ameen.
And if you put us in test, so give us ability and strength to be steadfast in that test.
Absolutely.
And they were tested. How? Allah Ta'ala commanded them, and Allah Ta'ala prohibited them to fishing on the day of Sabbath. Sabbath is Saturday.
Saturday. Yes.
So they wouldn't allow to fish on the day of Saturday.
Okay.
And Allah Ta'ala tested them in such a way that on Saturday lots of fish were available in the sea.
That's right.
And none in other days.
That's right. So Allah Ta'ala particularly chose that day because Allah Ta'ala is the best of planners. We all know that. And so Allah Ta'ala prohibited fishing on that Saturday, but He filled the rivers with fish on that day to make an even better test, or a harder test, you can say.
Yeah, so we can apply, and we can in our day and age, we have means of earning haram money. It's very easy to become rich in days.
Yes.
Okay, in very quick time with illegal way.
Absolutely.
And it's very hard and difficult to become rich.
Yes.
In halal way.
Yes, that's just a fact of life,
yes.
Isn't it? So if we were to go on haram means, it is easier to make money. It's a fact of life, but right. to sustain a halal risk, it is harder.
It's harder, and it is very important. For one of the reasons of our du'as not being accepted is to consume haram money.
Yes. To
consume haram money is mentioned in a hadith. Prophet _has said that a person comes in the court of Allah as well in Kaaba, and then he holds the clothes of Kaaba, the curtain of Kaaba,
the cloth, yeah.
And then he's crying, and his his face is dusty. He's from far, traveled all the way to Makkah, and then making dua, and you would see, he's very pious person making dua. But Prophet said that mat'amuhu haramun. His food is haram, his clothes is haram, and then he was fed with haram. How his dua would be accepted?
It won't be.
So it's very easy to get haram money, but it's very difficult to become rich with halal money. So that is the test from Allah Azza wa Jal.
And this is an example from here, because they could have very easily fished on that Saturday and caught all the fish that they needed. But that was the test, not to fish on that Saturday.
But they the shaitan whispered, and they followed the shaitanic whisper, and then what they have done, they began to dig drains from the sea into the land.
That's right.
So what they have done, we're not going to catch fishes on Saturday, but they made drains from the sea into the lands, right. And they made a small ponds.
That's right. Yeah.
And then what they have do, they used to they used to leave the drains way open on the day of Saturday.
That's right.
And when the fishes come in the ponds, they used to close it.
That's right.
And then they would say, we're not going to catch it on the day of Saturday.
Catch it the next day.
But that day, when they trap the fishes in the ponds, actually is considered as fishing day.
And that was a Saturday.
That was a Saturday.
That's right.
And
so
then
what they were trying to do was bend the rules, weren't they?
So one thing we can learn from this, that not to find not to bend the Islamic rules.
That's right.
What do you say? Like to
Try and cheat.
cheat. Yeah.
We're trying to cheat effectively. If Allah Ta'ala says you cannot fish on a Saturday, and we are trying to, trying to find ways or technicalities, because sometimes we think we're smarter.
Yeah.
We think we're smarter than Allah Ta'ala. Oh, Allah Ta'ala says don't do this, and we'll try a different way and talk about technicalities, and maybe it's not a Saturday in that time or whatever. There's all sorts of excuses that we can come up with, but we should learn from, like in episode 1, the people of that time, they didn't follow the command of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and they were punished. They were punished twice, and it's the same here again.
Yeah. So people, they have divided into 3 groups. First group of people, they refrained from fishing on the day, and they even advised the other people who was fishing on Saturday that don't fish on Saturday because it's prohibited.
Yep.
And the second group, they didn't fish on the day of Saturday, but they was silent. They remained silent.
Yep. They didn't speak out against the ones that were fishing.
Yeah. And the third group of people who disobeyed Allah's command and who fished on the day of Saturday.
Yes.
So what happened after that? When they had done it, and then they fished on the day of Saturday, disobeyed Allah's command. So the people who refrained fishing on the day of Saturday, they said, okay, we're not gonna make our ties with those people.
They created a wall.
They separated themselves from the wrongdoers.
Right.
So they made a wall, and the separate entrance and exit were made for them. So who didn't fish.
Yes.
So they said, we're not going to keep tie with you because you disobeyed Allah. So if Allah's torment descends, so if it could descend upon us, so that's why we have to be separate from you. So they have made different walls. So after some time, Allah Ta'ala punished them. Hazrat Dawood as-salam cursed those people who disobeyed Allah as well. So consequently, one day, none of them came out of their houses or their wall. So when the people from the other group, they climbed up to the wall to see. So there was 12,000 people who fished on the day of Saturday. So what happened after that? When they saw those people, they na'udhu billah, they deformed into the monkeys.
That's right. They became monkeys. Yeah.
Monkeys. So they used to come to their relatives. They used to recognize them. They used to come closer to them. They used to sniff their clothes. That's but they couldn't speak because they're monkeys.
That's right.
And then used to cry and
and the people that they knew, obviously they're in the form of the monkey, so the people that knew that, they couldn't recognize them because they were in the form of a monkey.
But the other people,
the monkeys could recognize their relatives.
So they couldn't eat or drink for 3 days, and after 3 days they all died.
Yeah.
So look at the punishment of Allah as well. Their sign is not even found. No. There's
no trace of them.
Yeah, no trace
all
of
gone.
them. All gone.
All gone.
So that is a very severe punishment from Allah as well. Allah mentioned in this incident in Surah Baqarah, first para, verse number 65. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ اعْتَدَوْا مِنْكُمْ فِي السَّبْتِ فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَدَةً خَاسِئِينَ. Translation is, and you certainly know of those among you who transgressed in the matter of concerning Sabbath, Saturday. We therefore said to them, become apes, despised.
Astaghfirullah. Now again, another example. This is one of the miracles of the Quran, that those people who lacked faith, again, we discovered this in episode 1 that we talked about as well, and again we find people that lack faith again in Allah Azza wa Jal and disobey the commands of the prophets. This time it was Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam, and look at the punishment, the severe punishment that befell them. So subhanAllah, this is a lesson for us to kind of currentize. This happened thousands of years ago, and we can still, like Imam Sahib said, it's very easy to go out there and do haram and live a comfortable life. But stick to the right path, and you have Allah's blessing, and good will always come.
Greed of wealth. That's what greed of wealth. One of the evil of inner disease is greed of wealth.
Yeah.
So they disobeyed Allah because of greed of wealth.
Yeah.
They sold the fishes that they ate, and they earned money as well. Prophet ﷺ has said in one of the hadiths that if the true value of gold one person would get, but still he would be in search of third one.
Of course. It's
Because
never enough.
Yeah, never enough.
It's never
Only the dust of grave would fulfill the belly of son of Adam.
Subhanallah.
So desire and the greed of wealth, the one who has the greed of wealth, never.
It never ends, and it's a
Yeah.
downward spiral. It's something that greed is, like Imam Sahib said, is something you can be born with and you can take it to your grave.
Yeah.
And that's the only time it stops. And subhanAllah, may Allah Ta'ala protect us from the greed of this dunya and let us be greedy for the akhirah. And look to cement our place in Jannah.
Before we finish, sorry, I want to mention one of the hadiths. Is very, when I read this hadith, I feel very, trust upon Allah is very satisfied. Prophet ﷺ said that the one who will be satisfied with the very little amount of provision Allah Ta'ala provided him in this world, Allah Ta'ala would be pleased with him on the day of judgment with the little amount of his good deed.
SubhanAllah. And that's all we know. That's all we
people,
want to get through.
they want more. Just become, be satisfied and be mutma'in and do tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jal. Just be happy whatever you have got.
Absolutely. They say whether the glass is half full or glass is half empty. Alhamdulillah, there is a glass in the first place, and there's something in it. So always do shukr of Allah. Jazakallah khair, Imam Sahib. I hope there's something that we can take from this lesson, from the miracles of the Quran. That this has been episode 2. Inshallah, keep watching next week for episode 3. These are lessons for us for all to learn. My dear brothers and sisters, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you like this video, please give it a like and a thumbs up. Leave your comments below. Share it with your friends, your family and your children. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We'll see you next time. Keep watching and spread the blessings to everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.